Hello everyone, and welcome to the Deep Blue Renegade podcast. My name is Molly, also known as the Deep Blue Renegade, and I'd like to welcome you guys to episode 73. Today is Sunday, January 18th. Actually, let me check. I think it's the 18th. Yep. And it is sunny and 70 outside, so I'm recording. Hey! It is gorgeous today. Like, don't believe me? I wouldn't be barefoot if it was cold outside. My feet are sort of dirty. Oh well. So, welcome everyone. I'm glad you could join me today. Can't beat, what is it? A beautiful sunny day. And even more surprising, it's sort of strange to be outside in a t-shirt in January. So I think I'm having that northerner craziness problem, maybe. I think I could get used to this, but the Dear Sweet Lovable one is trying to go on a bike ride right now, I think. So should be pretty well left alone for the duration of the podcast. Okie doke. So, I did some knitting this week. I'll start with the Moonstone shawl. I still haven't done a complete repeat since Christmas. But I'm pretty close to a half repeat now. Maybe 5 rows away from a half repeat being done. So I'll weigh my ball of yarn. It appears that I have 36 grams left out of the probably 115 I started with. So it's definitely coming along. It just sort of looks like a vague blue blob. These are, so this is the Moonstone Shawl by Renee Levington. I am using Bijou Base in Shangri-La, which is a 50% yak, 50% silk blend, and is lovely. And it's coming along fairly nicely. It's not very exciting, but it is something that I do need to concentrate on and knit entire rows on in a sitting, so it doesn't get pulled out all too often. But it is coming along. I probably did a few rows this week. It's definitely my project that's closest to completion, we'll put it that way. So I should perhaps focus on it a little bit more when I'm home. But there's a reason that I'm not focusing on things while I'm not at home, or while I'm at home. So I think I'm now to the 30% left mark, so 70% of that shawl is done. The other knitting project I have on the needles is the Viajante. And it is nice and long and whatever else. And it still continues and goes and goes and goes and goes and goes. So it is nice and long. It's not wingspan long, little sheave. You can't even fit it in the screen. But it's getting pretty close to that point. It appears that I have 44% of the yarn left. I really didn't knit very much on it this week in comparison to even the week before, which was pretty horrible. So looking at my little stitch markers, I probably did 2 inches last week and I did 1.5 inches this week. So not a lot of progress done on this. This is the pattern Viajante is by Martina Bem. I'm knitting it in Woolmisa lace in the Blau tint colorway. I got in an argument last week with this German lady who likes Woolmisa as well as to whether or not Blau tint was even really a colorway, and I didn't have the label with me to be like, yes, it is a real Woolmisa colorway. It's blurple. So I just smiled and nodded and didn't really want to get into a Woolmisa argument with a fellow lover of Woolmisa. But it really is a colorway, I swear. So this one is the one that probably gets the most work done on it in a week, because it's my throw in the bag, carry around project. And like honestly, the fact that you can pick it up and put it down wherever makes it a really nice project to have going. So, like it's perfect movie knitting, but I have not been knitting while watching movies lately. I've actually been spinning, so that ends up changing things a little bit. So I think that's probably the #1 reason why it's been really slowed down recently. It was just that I've been spinning a lot. Okay, so I just wanted to get it past the marker point so I could go ahead and move my marker. So this was, what, the first 3 weeks of progress from this spot to here, and the last 3 weeks of progress has not been nearly as striking. But what can you do? So marker has been moved. But yeah, no, that was was that? No, this one count. This would count. No, it doesn't. It was probably different 3 weeks progress. You can hold pretty easily in your hand. So it's going slowly, but it certainly is the most mindless. It's the mindless project, so it will continue to go slowly. It looks like at the rate that I've been going recently, it's not going to be a project that gets done in 10 weeks like I was hoping it would initially, just based on percentage of yarn used, but what can you do? So I have been spinning quite a bit. That has been where most of my crafty time at home has been going. Has been spinning. So I have finished. So last week I showed you the singles. This week I am showing the plied yarn. I ended up having to break it up into 2 skeins because there wasn't quite enough room on the bobbin for this. The bobbin was quite packed. So this is the Rock and String Creations Falkland. It was about 4 ounces of fiber. It was the colorway Conundrum, but I overdyed it with blue Kool-Aid, and it still smells like Kool-Aid. Oh wait, it smells like soap now, but when I stuck it in the sink, it smelled a lot like Kool-Aid. I applied this Sunday after podcasting, and I just finally gave it its bath Saturday night. So this is Navajo plied to keep the color repeats together. I'm pretty sure it bounces somewhere between a DK and a bulky weight. It's not consistent at all. It's definitely very ploofy. It's very soft, and it's so crazy to see, like, the definition of the plies is just really fascinating to me with this yarn. So hold it in front of the camera, you can sort of see what I'm talking about there. So it is very interesting spin. It turned out to be, I think it was 144 yards, which is why it's effectively an Aran weight. And it might turn into actually a hat for the Dear Sweet Lovable one. He squished it a little bit, and he has no qualms about colors, as it turns out. And I think he'd sort of like to have a backup hat, because his hat is currently in queue to be washed, but not yet washed, so he's wearing a hat I made for him many years ago that was made out of acrylic that makes him look like a clown. If you want to look at the Ravelry project, I'm pretty sure the Ravelry project is either sausage hat or clown hat. At some point I got tired of him wearing it all the time, so I made him the Rose Helmet hat instead. But he seems to be cool with this, and I can probably make a very lovely hat for him with this skein, because I think it wants to be a hat. I think it'd make a pretty nice hat. And Yeah, no, I think the colors are turning out fairly correct. It isn't as vibrant as I was hoping it would be, but you know, it's fine. But it is a really fun skein, and I'm pretty happy with how it ended up turning out in the end, because I was afraid it was going to be sorta awful after I accidentally felted it while dyeing it, so. Exceeding expectations. um, so that is my one spinning whatever FO for the week. It looks like I also got my other spinning project to the same point. So I am doing a combination spin, or I'm almost done with it at this point. It'll be pretty fast. So what I picked were 2 different colorways of nest, and so this counts for the completely twisted and arbitrary combination spin along, and the the nest combination spin along. So the nest one ends on the 31st, but it should be no problem to spin. to ply this guy up. And so what I wanted was a 3-ply fingering rate. So the center bobbin is the magpie colorway, and then I guess that's the left bobbin. The left one to you guys is the the nebula colorway, and then what's in the bobbin to the right is the combination of the nebula and the magpie held together while I was drafting. I thought it was sort of hilarious how it turned out that the awkward colors to come together always seem to land at the same spot, so we'll see how this turns out. But I'm sure it'll be great, because other people have done this combination before, and it's stunning. So, so I am excited about this. It might turn out that it's thicker than a 3-ply fingering rate. I'm not really sure. I wasn't using the wraps per inch guy on the the iSpin Toolkit app that I have in my phone, though I should, because I think that would make for more intentional yarn. But I'm glad that I pulled out the good stuff. The Falkland spun like a dream. The BFL was a little bit harder. It wanted to have slubs, so I'm not sure what the story was with the BFL. I had to be a lot more careful with spinning the BFL, so it wasn't as much fun to spin, for example, as the Fat Cat and its BFL, since I'm finally getting the point of spinning where I'm trying blends of fiber again. It was definitely pretty challenging to combo draft them, because they definitely wanted to take up twist differently. The combo drafted stuff is probably a bit more crazy in terms of weight. But I'm really excited to see how this all comes together, and I'm sure next week I'll have a finished skein to show you guys. I'm going to have to ply it on the jumbo bobbin, and it should be able to hold the full 8 ounces, so should be good there. And it might be a little bit more than 8 ounces. Oh well. I don't think it'll put me in the lead for the combo spin-along. I don't know, maybe it will. I'd never been ever in contention to win anything in terms of spinning, because my spinning speed has not been the fastest with, or what is it? The spinning wheel has resulted in me spending more time in spinning and less time in knitting. And so I'm getting a lot of spinning done because A, it is faster with the machine, and B, I sort of want to use this new fun tool. So I'm putting more time in it than I think I would normally choose to put in. But I did spin on a spindle this week. I finished one of the roll-logs at knitting night on Friday, so I'm just pulling the hay out. Oh, hey. So that is another roll log in, which means I am halfway, I think, maybe, with this. Or I should have 8 roll logs left at this point. But we can count, because whatever, counting's fun. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. So the count is 8. Yay! So it's coming along. Maybe I am a couple episodes behind on the Knit Girl, so if I have some time tonight, I think I will go ahead and spin while watching them. Excuse me, and get some more spindle spinning out the door. And that should slowly but surely come together. At some point, that's going to be the only thing left in my bin, so I should finish the sweater spin. And the only way things get done is if you work on them. So, I'm not planning on putting more fiber on my wheel until I finish the chocolate Shetland fleece spin. I am probably not going to be starting my camel silk for the something special knit along until I get the chocolate Shetland fleece off my spindle. And I was debating whether or not I wanted to try use the lace flyer on the Lendrum for the camel silk, but I think I really should go ahead and use the Turkish for that one. There will be plenty of opportunities to figure out how to spin a gorgeous lace weight yarn. I don't need to be too concerned about starting that off right away. And since I'm still not very close to finishing any of my knitting projects, I won't be starting a knitting project at least for a little while. Until I get something closer to being done. And there are probably some more errands I need to run today, so I'm probably not going to spend the rest of the day knitting away. I have to go to the grocery store and get stuff for dinner and make dinner and all that fun stuff. But I do want to thank you guys for the pattern suggestions. So a couple were definitely catching my eye, but for whatever reason I'm still not quite casting anything on. And on a day when it's 70, that just sort of be like, I don't need a sweater today. So we shall, I know where that thread is, and so then I'll be able to look at it once I'm closer to wanting to start something, and then make sure all my yardage is right and stuff like that. It should be fun. I don't know whether or not I'd cast on that hat, because I don't know. I don't know if I'm getting to the point where I really need to finish something. And that finishing spinning things doesn't really feel like finishing things for some reason. It's an interesting conundrum. But I invite you guys to take part in this something special knit along thread. So show off what it is that you're finally freeing from the yarn stash or pattern stash or stuff like that. And we can all chat it up. So hopefully I get started soon, because it feels sort of silly hosting a Cal and then like, oh, it's almost a month in. Whatever. We're only almost 2/3 of the way through January. Not bad at all. The other thing is that I should have pictures sometime this week of my rearranged craft room. So I finally finished painting the shelf. So that means that what I'm going to go through is like clean out the entire room, clean it all up, and then put all of my yarn on the yarn and fiber and stuff like that on the shelf, and then may arrange the room in such a way where it'll be useful as like a guest bedroom as well. So hopefully all these things come together. It still is my, what is it, my cold weather recording location of choice for the time being, because I think it's just annoying to get that stupid chair in and out of the room. So I suppose I could use the camp chair as well. It seems to work for outside. It's just whatever. The self-consciousness of recording while my husband's around is, yeah. I totally get Emily on that one. So I should have photos of that and whatever. It'll be nice to finally have that room organized and things finally out of boxes. I always feel sort of silly that that's one part that hasn't really been unpacked yet. So that'll be quite lovely. Any other random things? So what, today is the 18th, which means I should be recording again on the 25th. It might be the 24th, it just sort of depends on scheduling and stuff. It seems like one of my volunteer opportunities might be happening on Sundays, and so that'd make it harder to record in the afternoon while there is still sunshine. So we'll figure out how it goes from there. So I hope you guys all have a lovely week, and I look forward to whatever, joining you guys in the group. So take care, guys. Bye-bye.